morning, children. Up to now we have studied about the various characteristic properties of bar magnet, and as well as we have studied about a circular ring, current carrying ring can act as a magnet. Its one face acts as a north pole, whereas its other face acts as a south pole. Okay, and if there are a certain number of rings are associated, then that particular object is called as a solenoid, which is called as a current carrying solenoid. It can behave as a bar magnet. Now in this particular expression, we are going to demonstrate the similarity of a current carrying solenoid with the bar magnet, and for that we have to find out the axial field of a finite solenoid carrying current. So in this diagram especially, we can see that A is the radius of the solenoid. So A is the radius of the solenoid. Now O is the center of the solenoid. So we know that from the center we are going to measure the distances. Okay, so from the center to this particular ring, distance is L, and from the center O to the other side of the solenoid, the distance is L. So together 2L is the length of the solenoid from the center O, and small n are the number of turns per unit length of the solenoid. I is the current flowing through the solenoid. Okay, and we have to calculate the magnetic field at any point P on the axis of the solenoid. So this is the axis of the solenoid, and P lies on the axis of the solenoid. Okay, such that the distance from the center of the solenoid to the point P is equal to R. Okay, now to understand this concept and to find out the net magnetic field due to this solenoid, we want to consider a small element having the width dx. Now you can see that this orange color small component I have noted, and this small component of the solenoid, small element of the solenoid, is considered as a dx, isn't it? Okay, now we have here this point P is considered as the point P, and O are at a distance R, and dx is considered as a small element of that particular solenoid, and which is at a distance x. You can see that this is at a distance x from the center, that is O. Okay, now number of turns of this element, is considered as a n dx. So I'll write down here number of turns in dx element is equal to n dx. Okay, now we want to understand first of all the field at P due to the current element, how much field is produced, and this expression we have studied in the previous chapter. Okay, so I'll directly write down here dB, or the magnetic field due to this particular current element, is nothing but mu naught into I a square into n dx. This is the number of turns in the dx element, so it is total number of turns in dx element divided by 2, and r minus x bracket square plus a square raised to 3 by 2. This was the basic expression. We got it for a circular current carrying conductor producing the magnetic field at the point P on the axial line. We have studied this. Okay, now if this point P lies at a very large distance from O, here I have taken a small distance, but if the point P lies at a very large distance such that if R is greater than A, okay, and also we can say that R is far greater than X, because X is also the distance from the element from the center O, isn't it? And R is the distance from the point P to O. Then what happens, this particular bracket R minus X bracket square plus a square raised to 3 by 2, this overall bracket, because R is greater than A, R is greater than X, so this particular we are negligible, isn't it? So we can have here the equivalent value is equal to R raised to 3, because X is excluded, A square is also excluded, so R raised to 3 by 2, we can say that R square raised to 3 by 2, that is R cube. Okay, and we can get here the magnetic field dB is equal to mu naught I a square n dx. So we are finding out this magnetic field only for this particular element dx divided by, now this term is changed, we are getting here 2r cube. Okay, now this is only for a single element we have taken, and the range of variation of the x, because this is not the complete solenoid lies from this place to this place, so we have to consider so many elements from that particular center O to on the left side and center of the O to the right side. Okay, so we can have the distance measured from O to the left side as a x is equal to minus L, and this side we can say that x is equivalent to plus L. Therefore, we are going to have the range of variation of x is from x is equal to minus L on the left side to x is equal to plus L. Okay, therefore the magnitude of the total magnetic field at point P due to this complete current carrying solenoid, I can find out that B is equal to mu naught N I A square, because these are all our components which are fixed one, divided by 2r cube. Okay, and integration I want to do it from x is equal to minus L to x is equal to plus L dx, because all these other components are constant, so I have taken it outside. Only dx is varied from minus L to plus L, so together length is 2L, isn't it? Okay, so we can have here this integration, if we solve it, then we can have mu naught N I A square divided by 2r cube, and integration of dx is x, isn't it? So integration of dx is x, and the limits are x is equal to minus L to x is equal to plus L. Okay, so if minus L to plus L, then we can have upper limit minus lower limit, if we apply, then plus L minus of minus L is nothing but 2L. Okay, so I can write down here expression B is equal to mu naught N I A square divided by 2, isn't it, r cube into 2L, because integration of this and after applying limit I am getting the term as a 2L. Therefore, I can write down the expression for this as equal to mu naught upon 4 pi 2n 2L I. Okay, now pi a square, because pi was not there, so I want to make this factor as a mu naught upon 4 pi. So that's what I have introduced the pi in the denominator. I have to introduce the pi in the numerator. So it is pi a square divided by r cube. Okay, now in this case m is the magnetic moment of the solenoid, isn't it? And that is given by the number of turns multiplied by current. We have studied this NIA, isn't it? So I'll write down here, if m is magnetic moment of solenoid, then I can write down as a magnetic moment m is equal to total number of turns, this is n, multiplied by I current, and the area of cross section, this is nothing but A. Okay, so I can write down m as, we can have suppose m as n into 2L. So there are n number of turns in throughout the 2L length of the particular solenoid, multiplied by I multiplied by area is nothing but pi a square. Okay, so if we put this value and include this value, then we can have this n is like that, then 2L and pi a square, this together factor is replaced by the factor m. Okay, and therefore I can write down here B is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi, then we have 2, because this and this complete factor becomes m, isn't it? So we have 2m divided by r cube. Okay, so this is the expression for the magnetic field on the axial line for a short bar magnet. Okay, thus the axial field of a finite solenoid carrying current is same as that of the bar magnet, and therefore for all practical purpose a finite solenoid carrying current is considered as equivalent to a bar magnet. So in this way we can derive the expression to find out the net magnetic field produced on the axial line by the solenoid, which is equivalent to the magnetic field produced at the point due to bar magnet. Okay, so this is the basic expression for the bar magnet as well as the solenoid also.